Happy summer day, everyone. This morning I had a delightful morning pruning my bottle gourd arbor. The vines are really prolific and they grow really strong, and we're going to have yet another heat wave in the Pacific Northwest. And so I thought it'd be good to try to reduce some of the evaporative properties. And also my gourds are getting hit pretty hard by, I think they're spider mites. So just kind of reducing the stress on the plants to give them a better chance at all of this. But the gourds are doing very well with the heat, and so that I have to prune them a lot. And when I do so, there's these little baby fruits on the vines that I prune. So that's really cute. This is the long one, like you see right there. The cucuzzi types, the Italian eating ones. Also had them with the ones that are a little bit more round, the Corsican ones, probably the ones that look like large bowls. And then also even had one, ta-da, that had the more bottle gourd shaped bottle gourds on it. So I thought it would be really fun to try cooking these up based on the passage from Castle Vestro, where after he waxes very poetically and nostalgically about using gourds as floats for learning how to swim, he then talks about cooking up the pumpkin tips. And he calls them pumpkins, but because he also has another section called marrows, and yes, he is late 1500s, so he very well could be talking about the actual pumpkin, the Cucurbita pepo, instead of the bottle gourd itself, Langonaria. I'm really confident that in this section he is talking about gourds, and they just happen to translate it as pumpkins instead. So, describe the tips of the pumpkins which wind their way up the trees and hedges and writhe along the ground. Cut them off about a palm's length, including 2 small leaves with a little bud between them. And if there are any tiny gourds the size of a walnut or smaller, so much the better, for these will improve the flavor. And if they are even bigger, they will be just as good. Washed and tied in bundles, about 20, I don't have 20. They are cooked in a capacious, so large pan, as I described for mallow shoots, but taking great care not to overcook them, or the tips, which are the best part, will fall off and get left behind in the pot. So then well drained and dressed with melted butter, salt and pepper, and bitter orange juice, as they're considered both healthy and tasty. I don't have any bitter orange juice, but I do have some unripe grapes that I can use for verjuice. Verjuice was often commonly paired with bottle gourds, so that should be a fun thing to do. Unfortunately, you flip to the chapter about mallows tips that he mentions, and he doesn't really describe any cooking processes for it. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do kind of the standard medieval vegetable treatment when it comes to cooking, which is I'm going to boil it for a little bit in a big pan and then maybe fry it up with a little bit of oil. There are other treatments where you can, written in the historical cookbooks, where you boil it and then you essentially cool it off in cold water and use it for a salad. That could also be an option, but I think I'm going to go with this frying technique just as kind of a good starting point. So let us jump inside and see what happens with all of that. So here they are after a quick 2-minute boil in some water. The water definitely had a yellow cast to it, so I'm very pleased with my decision to go ahead and do a quick boil to kind of start removing some of the bittering agents of it. So this little guy is looking really cute. Even have a little flower, so I'm excited to try that out. And now on to the frying in a fry pan. Alright, so rolled off. This is it after fried in a little bit of olive oil for a little bit, so then we'll just dress it with some salt and then some grapes. And 2 hands needed for this to squeeze out some of their juice into all of this, just to brighten it up for an acid. Alright, let's give this a whirl. So I'm going to be gentle with myself and start off with the first one, the cucuzzi type, which is actually designed for eating, so there might be less bittering agents in it, even after the boiling. Yeah, very distinct taste. It doesn't taste like anything else. There is a little bit of bitterness to it still, but it's nice and tender. It has it's not really crunchy, but it has a good texture to it. That's nice. All right, I'm gonna go for one of the leaves. They got really nice and crispy, almost kind of like kale chips. Ooh, yeah, it's a fried vegetable. It's really tasty. All right, and then I went to try one of the little balls. So the little cucuzzi types here. No, sorry, these are the Corsican types. Ooh, a little bit stiffer. Okay, I'm afraid. Oh yeah. Botany. So yes, they're definitely much more bitter. It's not very pleasant, and the texture is much more rigid. So you can totally tell that this has been bred to be much more of a storage vessel type of bottle gourd than an eating bottle gourd. I mean, oh yeah, no. Maybe it needs more boiling. You know, boiling does one of those things to kind of release the secondary or all the bitteriness. The fried leaves are really tasty. Okay, and now for the bottle gourd shaped bottle gourd. I'm waiting for the bitter kick. I'm not getting any. Well, hot dang. That's really nice. And this way it almost kind of tastes a little bit more like a zucchini, but not nearly as mushy. It has a really nice firm texture to it. It holds up really well. It's really pretty inside. And this light little browning I got with the frying. Needs more berry juice, but hot dang. I'm really excited about that. Yay! Castle Vestro once again for the win. I'm digging through this because I want to find that flower blossom. Here we are. So this is the one with the flower blossom on it. And we'll see. It looks kind of disgusting. Not nearly as pretty as some things are. Ooh. Ooh, even though it's a fat flower blossom of the cucuzzi types, it's not nearly as nice as the bottle gourd shaped bottle. I'm really now excited to try cooking the larger ones. So yeah, there we go. Bottle gourd vines per Castle Vestro, and kind of using a lot of the other medieval standard kind of gourd and veggie cooking techniques. So would I do it again? No. I have other things to eat from the garden than this, but this is really fun. And it's a good use of using up all of that vegetative matter that normally would just go into the compost when you're pruning your gourds. So, alright, I hope all is well.